Hello everybody and welcome back to Weathering Tips and Tricks. This is installment 2. And today I will be showing you how to weather your truck side frames and everything. So I will only be doing one side, but both sides will eventually be completed. Again, this is installment 2. So you'll need a paintbrush, some paint, obviously, a cup of water, which mine's already been used quite a lot. Yeah, there's lots of paint in there. So what I've used for this brown mixture that I'm going to be lightly applying is some Vallejo flat brown, non-thinned, but I'm all out of this. I'll just use my last few drops to make this mixture. So it's about 4 or 5 parts of this. What else did I use? Yellow ochre, which is again a Vallejo color. And that was 2 parts of that, 2 tiny little drops, and I got this very nice color, so I just want to make sure my brush is cleaned off. So we're going to very lightly, we're going to add a little bit more this yellow ochre to this, just to give it a little bit more lightness. Where's my stirring stick? My paint is a little bit stiff. It has been drying a little bit. There we go. So now we're just going to take just a little bit of this. Just barely dab some on there. Barely dab some on there. And I'm going to turn this a little bit towards me so that I can see it. But I'm basically just going to be using a stippling motion to apply this. This will represent dirt and grime. It's kicked up onto the locomotive. Just very lightly coat this. Very light coats. You can brush it on there, you can stipple it, whatever floats your boat. Very light coats of this stuff. Very light coats. Careful, because on these inner mountains there are some loose parts. Very light, thin coats. And again, you want this to be kind of random. You don't want it all in one place, because if it's all in one place, then that's not going to look like the real thing. The real thing does not have it all in one place, does it? Get some of this piping. I'm not working off of prototype photos. I'm working off of what I've seen in person, which is in my head, because I've seen quite a lot of ES44s in my life, especially BNSF ones, and they're not heavily weathered. It depends on the unit. Dash 9s, you have a little heavier weathering. ES44s, you have a lighter weathering. So there's your first front truck there. That's just that light grime, I guess you'd call it grime. And let's get some more, scrape some more up on the brush. It's constantly drying out. And just very lightly apply this coat. Now you can lighten this up. Whoa, that is way too heavy. There we go. You don't want it to look like mud, you want it to look like dirt. So very lightly pull this, and this is going to create a phenomenal effect for you. You don't want that much on there, because if you have too much on there, it's going to end up giving you nothing like what you want. You want to very lightly do this. You want to get that excess off. Come through with some darker coats. And you want to be able to kind of give it the look that you're looking for. Blend it in. Blend it in. It can't all be one color. Have some different colors in there, but blend it. Blend it in. And my paint's just about dried out, which I know how to fix that. I might have to add some water to my brush. Just a little water should do. Oh wow, yep. Adding a little bit of water does it. Oh yeah, there we go. It's a little too dark for my liking, but there we go. See? Then you're going to get more bang for your buck. A little bit more. Kind of, don't swirl it. Just kind of pull it with your brush. Very lightly. And you're going to get this phenomenal effect here. And up the front, we're going to have a little bit heavy of an application. But no matter. It looks great. And then you can stipple the brush to high brush strokes. Just like that. Just kind of. There we go. It's looking great. So that's why I have this on a piece of track to cover the wheels and make sure that we don't get anything dirty. So you can see it went from nice and silver to nice and dirty. Now we'll begin working on the rear truck. And again, a little bit does it. Get the brush a little wet. Take some excess off, and then very lightly I'm going to do this one. This one hasn't seen as rough of a time, I guess. This one's kind of starting to dry up. There we go. Adding a little water helps. Definitely adding a little water helps. You can also, I was going to run and go grab some rubbing alcohol. Oh, I think I might have diluted it too much. There, no, I didn't dilute it too much. Stirring it up helps. There we go. There we go. You want to get a feel for what your locomotive is looking like. Kind of a little worn out. And we'll add a little bit more to this one. And of course, you don't want it to be the same throughout. You want it to be different. So I think we just need a little bit more. So I need to soak up a little bit more on the brush. I want it to be a little heavier towards the bottom. And again, little differences is the deal breaker right there. Little variations. Little variations. Just tiny variations. You don't have to have that big of variations. Again, you don't have to have that many variations. You know, again, you want variations. You don't want too many variations in, what am I trying to say? I have no idea what I'm trying to say, honestly. I'm just blown away that I'm already doing that. I'm doing this good. I mean, you know, this is something I've actually never done this before, so we'll work on this a little bit more. Try to even this a little bit. Kind of make this look a little rough looking. A little bit later, we'll go back after this dries. We'll add a little bit of maybe we'll come down with some brush strokes here and there, just to give it a variation. We want it to kind of look coarse and rough, kind of like sand would on a locomotive. And we want some downward strokes to make it look a little different, you know. Here and there, different variations. Variations help. So we'll come back when this is dry, add a little bit of grimy brown. If I can find some more brown. We'll add some grime here and there, and then we'll start working our working on the sign here. Alright, so now we're gonna add I just knocked my paint back there. I didn't want to put that back there. Now we're gonna add some very light add some very light colors to the side. We're gonna add some very light touch. Just a very light touch. And this is where you wanna be careful. Be very careful. And then just get a little bit on the brush and all. Trying to mix up more paint without actually having to stop. This is where you want to be very careful, because this is the make or break right here. You want to use as little as possible. Very gently. That's it. Trying to do this. Little variations here and there. I don't know if we're actually still using paint or not. It's wet, but it's not showing up. I need more paint. Just take a little bit off there. Ah, there we go. There's some paint. There we go. So maybe that'll work. Maybe that'll show up. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. But that literally is not showing up. Let me see if I can get some more brown paint out. I may have to open up the bottle. I want to do this without... excuse me a moment. Just simply pull that off. Let me see if I can get some more paint out right quick. Oh, hey, there we go. Oh, yay! Paint! Yay! I got some paint. Hold on. Give me a second. Excuse me. I just figured out how to get some more paint out. One. Stir it. I never thought about doing that before, because this paint over here is completely dried out. 2, 3. There's some slight variations. This means that we may have issues applying this, because sometimes I do remember that I did this on another locomotive of mine, and it came out really heavy. So if I can do it in very light coats, like I've been doing, then we should be good. Okay, just dab that off. I want this to be very thin and very light, because I don't want this to actually be too heavy like it is on my other locomotive. Again, whoops, got some paint on me, but that's okay. It's acrylic paint. Working very concentration. Concentration is key in these situations. There we go. We get a little dirt kicking up onto the side of the locomotive there. Just wipe that excess paint off. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. That's how we do it and even out there. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Alright, excuse my stupidity there. And saying that's how we do it, that's how we do it. That's because that's the first time I've ever done that actually looks a little successful. So I'm going to take a little bit more of my new mixture paint here, and I'm going to apply some to the trucks here. Don't want too heavy. Again, variation is key in these situations. There we go. Variation is very, very important in these situations, because if you don't have enough variation, let me take some of this paint off here, then you don't have, you know, what you want. You don't have the perfect thing. You don't have it done right. Okay, so that's that's dirtied up. The foam, I meaning. So I've got a new mixture there. I know that I can get more brown paint out of that. just by simply beating it. So I will be right back after this dries, and we'll hold on. We'll go ahead and put on some grimy black here, or some a fuel spillage. This is my favorite part, honestly. So we'll go at this at an angle so that maybe you guys can see. I've got some dried black on my paintbrush. Very gently, this is what I'm gonna do. Take the brush and I'm going to right where I want it. Just very gently down the side of the locomotive, down the side of the fuel tank. And then just kind of brush it away. Just gives a grime kind of look to it, or does it? I may have to wait till the black dries a little bit more. I might have to angle the brush a little differently. There we go. Give me a second. So we just simply go down the side. And then wait for that to dry a little bit. We're going to clean the brush off here. I have to go grab a paper towel in a minute. Running out of room on this phone. And here's what we're going to do. We have that little spot of black there. And we're going to wait till that dries a little bit longer. Brush that off. Well, that didn't come out the way I wanted. That's the good thing about weathering. Didn't turn out the way you want it. Go back over it with some more paint. The good thing is I have a new mixture of brown, so if it takes off too much brown, then I can always go back and add some more. Very gently. I'm going to take off that black. And it just gives you this variation. And it gives you kind of some streaking as well. So there we go. We'll mix up, we'll put a little bit more brown on there. Just to, again, variation is key. Just take a little bit more of this paint. And just kind of around the area that this was taken off. That's not, oh, don't even tell me that's already dried out. That's not, no, not dried out yet. And we'll just apply more to the spot that kind of got worn away there. And we'll, you know, it kind of covers up some of the spots if we missed any in.